Hi, I'm Panda Hershey, and over the last 7 years, I have helped hundreds of people use their astrological compass to navigate relationships and challenging situations so they can actually enjoy their life. Welcome to the February 21st Coffee and Charts call, where we talk about starting the work of finding the dream team that is going to support us through the work ahead in 2024. Life is still speeding up between now and mid-March, so hang in there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, well, welcome everyone to Coffee and Charts. It is the 21st of February, and I'm hoping that the last 2 weeks have really helped you see that through line from 2023 to 2024. We did a lot of like pushing through and then maybe gotten some validation that we were on the right track for the changes that need to be made for 2024. And now it's almost like we've compressed it. We had compressed it into this very short timeline of like running through like both years. Oh, okay, now I know where I'm going. And this is a great place to be because then, especially if you had not written any New Year's resolutions, like now you know what needs to be done. And that is helpful. So where are we on February 21st? I'm going to share my screen, and on the 21st, a few things are going on here. We have, first of all, notice that, let me get my little mouse here. Come on. You want to move, don't you? Hang on, let me make you bigger. There we go. Over here, you can see that Pluto is back here and Mars and Venus have passed through already. And that is what gave us that sense of what 2023 to 2024 was looking like. And now that we can see that in the big picture, the next portal that is going to happen is this Saturn one here. Saturn, as you may remember, completed its portal on the 7th. So that little team of people who really understood what you were going through, you guys maybe shared some really intense experiences together, and you had this vision of just what had to be done. You didn't have to explain yourself. Everyone just did their thing. That is done. And as the sun now is kind of moving through that portal, it may be that you're getting together with them, talking to them, meeting with them, but doing something that kind of brings that group activity, that group project to a close. And all of these other planets will march through as well, kind of saying goodbye to last year's team as it was and setting you up for this year's team. And that's mostly what we're going to be working through over the next couple weeks. So let's see. So that's where we're at. And let's just kind of go through these day by day. Any questions? Does that sound right? Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, cool. All right. Tomorrow, Venus, you can see over here, it's the pink is very faint, is crossing over Mars in red. And as that happens, it is something that might feel like a breakthrough in a couple different ways, because Mars has been moving through Aquarius. As you put your heart into advocating for change, for leveling up in some ways and doing things differently where the old structures just were not going to work into the future. And as Venus catches up, it feels like validation. It feels like, oh, now I see where we're going. It may feel like your eyes are opened if you have been resisting change. And this is a great thing. because this happening at 7 degrees of Aquarius, so beyond where the Pluto portal is this year, it's almost like you can see a couple years ahead and say, okay, now I know where I need to be. I actually realize I can't get all the way there this year, but at least I'm heading in that direction. So it's kind of like, when you have headlights on, they allow you to see the road in front of you, but they actually extend a little further than you're actually driving. And so it lights the way for your path. Okay, that's a big thing. It may also be helpful that now that some people have woken up to what has to happen, they might be on board with what you're doing and could be part of your New Year's team, which is helpful, possibly. On the 23rd, the Mercury moves into Pisces and enters that 2023 Saturn portal. So last year's portal. And if you think about the sun already marching through there, you're doing things that wrap up last year's work, then the Mercury allows you to talk about it and do your assessment of what happened and maybe talk about how we worked together. How did we do together? And some honest discussion this is the good time for it, for people to be on the same page and to get some agreement. And then here we go. On the 26th, both the sun and Mercury leave that Saturn portal to complete that. So you have a few days to talk about that, to be with these people and to bring everything to its like mental conclusion. Now, when you complete a project, everyone can be on the same page, but there's still usually some follow-up work, and that is still to come as Venus and Mars are way back here and are going to march this way. Okay. On the 28th, it could be a very, very busy day because that is the day that Mercury crosses over the sun at 9 degrees of Pisces. So it's a great day to maybe gather people together and start looking at that transition of who has worked with me before, who am I going to need on my team, and start thinking about that. Great brainstorming day. I always like to think of Mercury and the sun together as like, let's do something and talk about it. So in Pisces, it is getting people on the same page. So people who get what you're going through, people you think might get what you're going through. It's almost like, think of it as almost an interview process for thinking about that new team, because this is still before that portal. And on that same day, both Mercury and the sun cross over Pisces, but at 10 degrees. So it's still before the portal, but it's like getting you focused on who needs to be around you. What is the energy that's positive, that keeps you moving, that's going to be helpful to you to keep going. And that will be a great day for kind of assessing where you're at and what you need. The next day, Mercury enters that Saturn portal at 13 degrees of Pisces. So it's almost like thinking about who, after you've had that great day of kind of brainstorming, all right, really thinking about who do I want to have around me and maybe starting some discussions. And then the next couple days later, the sun starts moving through. You can think of this as potential interviews, trial period, start to work together, test it out. And it's just 4 days that Mercury is moving through that portal. And it completes there. And by the time we gather again, the sun will still be in the portal, but soon moving out. So that's kind of what we're up to. Now that we know where we're headed, it's finding that dream team around us. Who is going to be with us in the day to day? Because those range of degrees from 13 to 19 are those energies that are and tools that we have that are not they're not initiating, they're more kind of executing. If you think in the project management language of sustaining and getting the work done, it's that kind of work, day-to-day stuff. And so who do you want around you? All right, let's go back. And as I'm doing that, any questions? Does that land for people? All right.
No, 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 no. No. Let's just stop. Show me these.
Here we go. All right. So we'll watch one more time and I will not talk through this. Right.
Actually looks like a team gathering there.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I'm such a visual learner. Like when someone tells me their name, I always say, can you spell that for me so that I can see it in my head and then be able to pronounce it? But like the visual movements really help me understand what is going on here. And I love watching them move. It's beautiful. So over the next couple weeks, and actually it's a lot longer than that, it's into April, that you have time to build what I'm calling your dream team. But you get to start to think about and act on what do they feel like? What do they look like? You can assess the people that you've been with, but they may not all be the same ones who keep sharing this journey with you in 2024. But they will want to be people who you can be on the same page with on a daily basis, right? You want to be able to feel like I can show up and work with you every day, and we don't have to agree on everything, but we know we can work together. And, or if not, we will find a way to work together because we need to. And you'll have about these 2 months till about mid-April to really nail it down of who this team is. So you get to take your time.
I'm looking at my team.
Awesome. I can see those little ears perked up. Ooh, is there something for me? That's so cute.
Yeah, he's very
So,
supportive.
oh, well, see, he's always on the same page with you. That's great.
Yep.
So between now and the 26th, the sun is moving through and has been already. Maybe this has already been happening to like start wrapping up last year's work of, what are you doing that feels like a completion of that journey you had with these people? Tomorrow, Venus crosses over Mars at the 7 degrees of Aquarius. So thinking about how your vision is being validated or your eyes are being opened to the changes that need to happen. And the way I was thinking about it last night was if someone's eyes are opened and they've been resisting the changes we've been pushing for, they may then be eligible to join our team. She'll be like, yeah, I thought you weren't going to be joining me, but maybe you will. So this opens up possibilities, I think. Sorry. From the 23rd to the 26th, so kind of contained within when the sun is moving through as we do last year's work, we get to talk about it at the same time. And I just feel like that is so helpful, especially for those of you in the corporate world, this is potentially a great time to think about all that you did last year and where you're taking it from here. And how did you do? Honest assessment is absolutely required to get everyone on the same page, because this year things are going to have to be different and you'll need everyone to be on board. Now you'll notice that these shifted a little bit because I've got the 2024 portals up here. And Mercury crosses over the sun at 9 degrees of Pisces, and then they both, Mercury and Sun, cross over Saturn the same day. So a lot going on. And this is this bridge between last year's team and next year's team, and understanding like how is that team transitioning, and a great day and for discussions. And then on the 28th through the 4th, Mercury starts marching through this year's Saturn portal. So noticing who you're talking to, hence who ends up in your field, and who you get to kind of be on the same page with. And from the 2nd into the 9th, the sun moves through, and what activities are helping to reinforce any conversations that you're having. Okay, so tips to thrive. Again, I can't emphasize enough. Every planet is moving forward. So it is very busy between now and May 1st. And actually, you'll still feel that way until June 30th.
Sit down. Not you.
It's still going to get even busier between now and mid-March. And the key to surviving, the key to finding some time for self-care is in the things you say no to. So always, if you can, assess how important this is. Anything that drains your energy is probably something that you can decline and say, I'll get back to you later. So over the last couple weeks, we were able to see that through line from 2023 to 2024. And the next couple weeks and beyond are about finding that team to help us and support us. And so again, looking for that honest assessment, probably in about a week or so, as Mercury and the Sun and Saturn all come together, to say, here's where I was, here's where I did, how I did with my team, and here's what I need going forward. And that 28th, great day, allow space for talking and gathering that may arise possibly unexpectedly. And you may learn something very important. All right, I am going to stop sharing my screen and see if there are any questions, see if this lands for you guys.
Sorry, I have distractions in my car.
That's okay.
Yeah. Are you my
Daisy?
team? Are you my dream team? That my dream team doesn't bite me. Yeah, he's a good team. He says, I got some ideas. Anybody with dogs, that would be a good team.
There
So
you go.
he said, then also, where's the dog star on this? I said, that's not part of our astrology. Anyway, goodness, he's usually really mellow. He's just excited about it or something. I don't know what's going on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Look at this. Look at this guy. He's out of control.
I just realized I didn't have video on. Sorry.
That's all right. Min, do you have anything?
Don't have a light on either. That's not going to make any difference. Never mind.
Don't worry. Min, does this land for you?
It does. I mean, I think I can't see the wood for the trees pretty much with everything that's happening anyway, but I got a big sense of the dragon year coming in. Which, coinciding with what you're saying, stuff kicking up around about that period. And yeah, it's interesting. Just hang in there and trying to knock a few things into line to be able to ride this.
Yeah. And this may be the time that you figure out where you're going to be working and putting, you know what I'm saying, where like really settling into this is where I'm showing up to do my work. That's kind of how I would almost see it. Who do I want around me as I do my work? And this may really set that of and feeling really good about whatever that is.
Yeah, I think there's been some good building blocks. Just trying to, I just feel I'm pulled in a lot of different directions at once right now, and it's hard to devote enough time to any one thing. Is what I'm finding. Like there's a lot of things that's really important that I do. Um, it's very hard getting things off that list. Getting things completed because everything needs me right now.
Right, right. And, until mid-March, it's going to get busier.
Yeah.
So you can decline anything. That, yeah, I realize there's not a lot of fat to trim out of your schedule right now. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
All
Though
right.
it's useful seeing it mapped out. There's something tremendously useful about just even having forewarning that it's going to get busier. Just kind of helps, just sort of like, you can just sort of like, okay, I got another couple of gears here. Let's get ready to shift into them, and whatever.
Yeah. Once the portal opens, the Mercury portal opens, it will start to slowly slow down. At least our minds will. But
Yeah.
it'll just be a tiny bit, but it'll still be like we'll feel this forces of everything moving forward that will be still quite strong. So, okay. Well, I hope I get to see you this week.
Yeah, I don't think
That'd
I'm.
be nice.
But we'll see.
Okay, great.
I think I'm there.
All right, excellent. All right. Have a good 2 weeks then, and we'll see you all later. Bye. I hope you feel prepared to move easily through the next 2 weeks. And pay attention on February 28th, when it might be a really busy day, to gather with people and get a sense of how everyone is feeling and how it relates to your work ahead. Because it's going to get even busier between now and mid-March, consider that all the rest that you need is in those places where you say no to activities. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.